There are reports coming out after the long weekend that my Kamado Joe iKamand might be about as useful as, well, a brick. Let's talk about that. So a couple things up front, just to let you know, this video is not sponsored or endorsed by Kamado Joe or any of the brands actually you see on the table here in any way. But I did have the iKamand in an upcoming video that's going to be going head to head against some other popular temperature controllers. So instead of a field of 5, we are down to 4. If you've seen any of my other videos on the iKamand below, like my waste of money video where the iKamand made that list, or man versus machine where I put myself against the iKamand and I was able to hold flatter temperatures, or more recently the iKamand versus the Connected Joe to show the differences in the technology, it's clear I'm not a fan, full bias up front, of the iKamand product. But until recent years, when the Pellet Joe came out followed by the Connected Joe, it was the only official smart connected grill offering from Kamado Joe. That's changed a lot over the last couple of years. I'll get into that a little bit more. Otherwise, you had to look at some third-party options if you wanted to be able to wirelessly control your grill. Again, go back a decade. This whole concept is something that I'm not a huge proponent of because I find grills like these are way more simple and easy to control than you might be giving them the benefit of the doubt. And you can build the skills and often not need to rely on expensive extra components. But over the last year, this has been a page that I've turned a corner on, starting first with grills like my Masterbuilt Gravity series or the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro that I've tested, the Connected Joe itself. There are a couple use cases, particularly the long hot hold, where if I want to keep my brisket overnight up to 17 hours at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, this is where relying on a little bit of a technology intervention comes in absolutely necessary. Beef jerky, cold smoking, or if you just, again, can't be there to manage your grill and you want to be able to turn the temperature down remotely. There are plenty times now where I can see the use case for a fan, and I will be keeping one of these 4 remaining products that I'll be testing for myself to do just all of those things. So make sure you've got the notification bell turned on because I'm going to be putting each of these through their paces, see which one will meet my needs. And again, I'm really looking at, for me, the long hot hold. Game changer. If you haven't tried this with a brisket yet, it is absolutely worth doing. The downside is holding a brisket inside in your oven, your entire house will smell like brisket, which may or may not sit well with your loved ones, which is why a fan controller that can do this outside in the grill that we already have is a great option. And at a couple $100, it's a fraction of the cost of buying yet another dedicated appliance, whether it's a small oven or a sous vide oven or a pellet grill or something like that that could hold those temperatures at 150 degrees overnight. That'll be first and foremost. I'm also going to be putting it through its paces at a couple other common cooking temperatures just to see, again, which one does its job most effectively. One of the things I noticed in the iKamand was it not only able to maintain temperatures as well as I could, because it kills the fire, stokes the fire, kills the fire, stokes the fire. I would see this up and down trend in the data in terms of how it's maintaining temperature. I was also able to pick this up in the palate in terms of what the food tastes like. And so I also want to understand how these keep the fire alive and under control, because charcoal tastes its absolute worst as the fire is suffocating and dying. And then obviously if the algorithm is stoking it, bringing it back to life. This I found burned more charcoal, so our efficiency went down using the iKamand. We'll see how it does on these. But the taste of the food also wasn't as good, which is why it made my don't buy list, as well as any other video where I've mentioned it in the last couple years, where I put it through any head-to-head comparison with anything that I'm used to cooking. So I also, as a content creator, don't always get it right, but this is why people ask all the time why I'm a little bit slow with reviews and sometimes trying to get about 6 months under the belt with a product before I review it, is to try and find out if there's any of these flaws with the product, the company, or the complete support process versus doing an unboxing and review. And this experience, if anything, has solidified that as the right approach. I've also, this past year, if you've been following the journey, I bought 2 offsets, actually 4 offsets to do a review, but 2 new ones this year. And so while I'm losing a small fortune on the resale of those, I did it because I want to be able to compare products as a customer without any influence of a brand. This financially is not sustainable, and I've had to rely on other brands in the past year, like Camp Chef sending the Woodwind Pro, or Weber sending the Summit, which I'm still in the process of doing a review. But my commitment to you is to continue to review things exactly the same as if I bought it, versus taking using any shortcuts, doing a quick unboxing review, and you buy something and have a really bad experience like many of us have had with the iKamand. I don't think anybody could have seen this coming years ago, so I'm not even sure 6 months would be enough to catch these issues, but it does inform how I'm going to adapt and modify my process going forward to try and reduce these risks as much as possible. Since anything that I show on the show, I want to make sure that I be comfortable recommending it to friends, family, and you guys, because these things are seldom ever cheap, and every dollar that you earn, I appreciate. If you are trusting anything that anybody says on platforms like YouTube and you go out and buy it, that you want to have just as good of experience as you believe the person on screen using it is having. I'm James from Soaking Dad Barbecue signing off, and remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.